Hardpoint identified. To the board, turn it.
Oh, that's down one.
Hardpoint locked down.
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Leslie, and welcome back to another video. Now, today's video is just a live commentary video where I essentially share my overall thoughts, and mind you, it is early thoughts, early days on the Black Ops 7 multiplayer experience. Now, of course, saying that, I've not played any zombies as of yet, which I will get around to very soon. And as for the campaign, I'm sorry, but I completely refuse to play the campaign. I've watched it online. I've seen what it is. It just doesn't, it's just not my cup of tea, I'll be honest. I honestly feel like the devs who created the Black Ops 7 campaign experience must have been on something. Now, the first thing I want to point out in this early review, which, mind you, of course, as the game is out for a longer period of time, my view and my opinions could potentially change depending on what changes they decide to do on their end and what they decide to bring. Of course, we don't know what the future holds for this game, how long it'll last, what Season 1 will hold, and Season 2, and so forth. But the first thing I really want to mention and kind of just get out of the way, which is something that has obviously annoyed a lot of people, which in this video I'm going to talk about both the good and the bad. The bad being, it's not a great look coming out and initially saying, hey, the overall experience will just be us going back to classic matchmaking across all playlists. And then, of course, 48 hours before the game comes out, you decide to say, hey, we're going to create two different playlists, one called Standard, one called Open. The Open one obviously has little to no SBMM. The Standard one is the one where it has SBMM. Now, the issue with this is the fact that, of course, there's two things that could happen with this, right? Thing number one is they could just say, hey, based on, you know, what these guys are saying, the fact that they're enjoying on the Open playlist and the amount of people who are actually playing on the Open side of the playlist, they'll just be like, okay, cool, let's just leave them be, no SBMM, everything's fine, let's just split the whole thing. Now, in my opinion, I think it's a lot better, rather than just creating a whole standard playlist, just create a ranked playlist instead. But it is what it is. The issue here is the fact that you came out, you said that you would go back to classic matchmaking on all playlists, and then shortly before the game came out, you essentially lied to the masses, which, of course, ends up not sitting right for people. Now, moving forwards, do I think they will go down the second path, which is, hey, based on the data and everything, we're going to actually add the SBMM into all of these playlists on the Open side of things? I hope not. I genuinely hope that's not a thing, that doesn't happen, and let's just sort of like leave it at that. But saying that, I also wouldn't put it past them to actually do such a thing. Now, do I think that is what happens? I hope not, and especially as of right now, going forwards, this is their best opportunity to actually win back the COD audience and actually win back the audience in terms of getting people to actually buy their game, jump back in, and everything. And I think a big reason as to why I actually say this is because when Modern Warfare 4 comes out, which I don't think is enough of a talking point, GTA 6 will be coming out essentially in the same month or close by as to when Modern Warfare 4 comes out. So at that point, not only should your marketing be on point, which, let's be honest, the Black Ops 7 marketing was nothing short of diabolical, embarrassing, and absolutely terrible, but also at the same time, if you are Infinity Ward, you got to think, okay, cool, we need to now step up our game and we need to actually, you know, give the fans what they want and what they need, especially for Activision too. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is just the good side about, you know, Black Ops 7 multiplayer, okay? Granted, yes, I understand there are one or two sweaty games that you're going to end up experiencing, which I get it, I understand. But when you experience a session or many sessions where you just play a match, you play good, and you're not getting punished for playing good, that is by far the best feeling. And the thing is, people who complain about SBMM and EOMM, they're not saying, oh, we just want to pub stomp every single game. No, just give us randomness. Don't punish us for doing good. And I think that's what, so far, this actually delivers. For the first time in a long time, and there's a lot of people also saying this too, I personally have not had a long Call of Duty session with friends, just like what I did literally last night. So in the time of me recording this, in the previous night, I think I started my stream on around, I'd say 7 p.m, 8 p.m, and I ended at 4 a.m. Of course, I was streaming over on kick.com/oresley, but it was just nice. It was refreshing. Like, I was playing with my mates, and it was just nice.
Enemy. Enemy concussion.
Now, the next thing I want to talk about are the maps, right? Now, in terms of the maps, I'll say for the most part, they've actually done really well. Okay, there's like one or two that I'm not quite a fan of. I'd say mainly one, and it's Den. But I also feel like it's a map that will eventually end up growing on me. But for the most part, I would say pretty much nearly every single map actually really good. Even the ones they've actually brought back, like the Hijacked and the Raid.
Enemy concussion.
Now, one thing I will say that they could definitely work on is weapon balancing. Now, the reason as to why I say they could definitely work on weapon balancing is because as of right now, if you have played, you'll notice that I've mainly been using the M15, literally. Granted, I have used other guns. I've used the Dravik, I've used the X9, which is a 3-round burst. But in terms of like great guns, I think right now the M15 just literally just wipes out every gun out of the park. So do I think there will be some weapon balancing? For sure, 100%. And it is something that they definitely could work on, for sure. Now, one final thing that I definitely do want to mention is something that I've seen a lot of people actually complain about, which definitely caught a lot of people by surprise. And there have been a percentage of people that actually like the change, me being one of them, and that being aim assist. Now, obviously, going into this game, especially as someone who went from Battlefield 6 into Black Ops 7, it's obviously a drastic difference, right? It's a big change. It takes a little bit of getting used to, for sure. But also, being someone who played Black Ops 6, coming into Black Ops 7, it's definitely a noticeable change, especially when it comes to the nerf to aim assist. Now, I understand it's going to be a little bit of a hot take when I say this, and I get that some people are not going to like others saying this, me being one of those people who are going to say this, of course. I feel like the change to aim assist is actually perfect. And let me explain why it is perfect. The reason why it is perfect is for the simple fact that imagine in a game where there's all this moving, there's, you know, all this sliding, jumping off the wall, and effectively in a game where for people and viewers who, you know, are watching and everything, imagine being a viewer, watching a streamer or a content creator, if that, right? And as you're watching them, you're seeing all of this moving, you're seeing all of this sliding and all sorts, jumping off the wall, blah, 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 right? Borderline Spider-Man on absolute craziness, okay? Imagine you slap in aim assist on top of all of that, right? Which, perfect example, last year, we had a map that a lot of people actually spoke about, and there wasn't a lot of great things said about this map. That map being Stakeout. If anyone remembers, tiny map. Easily, probably the smallest map that has ever been released on any Call of Duty, right? Complete and utter craziness. That whole experience, that whole Stakeout experience was the definition of what brain rot actually is. Now imagine, you've got all of these people just sliding through, doing cracked out movements on top of aim assist. That is not healthy. Because then you're hopping on a game, on top of SBMM, on top of strong aim assist, on top of cracked out movement, and you're just having people beam you down 24/7. Now, granted, I do understand that when it comes to Call of Duty, and especially the Black Ops series, it's never going to be like Black Ops 1, it's never going to be like Black Ops 2, right? The closest thing to a well-grounded experience that you're probably going to have in terms of people just having boots on the ground and whatnot, probably going to be Modern Warfare. But even then, on this game, not many people jump off the wall. Jumping off the wall is just not that, it's not a thing. It isn't a thing at all. Obviously, you're probably wondering why I say this is good and all. I think it's definitely really good and a really good change for the simple fact that it just creates a skill gap. If you're good with movement, you're not going to get carried by aim assist, which is actually great. If you're great with movement and you're good at aiming, at the very least, it puts you in a position where you can kind of think about what your next play is going to be, which is completely fair. And it's kind of gotten to a point where there are some gunfights that I end up losing where I'm like, you know what? That makes perfect sense. Whereas before, it was a lot of like, okay, cool, this just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I definitely think the aim assist change and the aim assist nerf is actually a healthy one. And it actually makes winning gunfights so satisfying. But aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Of course, if you have stayed this long and you've made it to the end of the video, genuinely appreciate it. But until then, take care, have a lovely day, have a lovely rest of the week, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.